friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to bring you along for a spring day on our tiny quarter-acre homestead. We're going to tackle some garden tasks, planting, up-potting, starting more seeds, lots of garden prep to be done this time of year, and I'm also going to give you a peek behind the curtain on what it's really like to balance homestead life, motherhood, and entrepreneurship behind the scenes. What things I drop when there isn't enough time in the day to do it all, how to choose what can be dropped, and if it's even worth it to balance such a full, busy lifestyle. If you're new around here, hi, I'm KyAnn. I'm a wife and mom to 3 kiddos, 4 and under, and I share lots of content around here on backyard homesteading, simple living, and intentional daily rhythms for busy moms. I'm super passionate about creating days of both productivity and peace, and slowing down enough to actually enjoy my life, not just spend it continually crossing things off the never-ending to-do list. If that resonates with you at all, I'd love for you to subscribe and join this little YouTube family to grow and learn together along the way. And if you're not new around here, thank you so much for spending another day with me. The topic for this video today really was just inspired by my real actual life behind the scenes at the moment. If you homestead or you're interested in homesteading at all, you probably know that spring is one of the busiest times of year. Just all of the baby animals that you have to take care of, starting so many seeds. If you garden, there's a whole workload involved in starting seeds indoors, continually starting more seeds week by week, and then when it comes time to getting ready to plant, which is where we're at now, obviously the planting takes a lot of time. Things really start to slow down after you get everything in the ground, but this kind of push at the beginning is really busy, and it gets really busy really quick. Every spring we've only been homesteading for, this is our 3rd season, but every spring so far it's been like, wow, okay, suddenly it felt like it was just winter with snow on the ground, and then suddenly we're in the midst of spring and I don't even know where the time went, but we're in full-fledged spring mode and things are busy. So when you combine busy homestead life in the spring with also being a mom, obviously nothing changes as far as motherhood. Motherhood still exists and is still here. I still have 3 kids to take care of. You still have however many kids you have to take care of throughout the day. They still have needs. They still are going to wake up throughout the night if they struggle with that. You know, like, they're still going to get sick here and there. They're going to have bad days, all the normal life things that come with being a mom on top of that. And then for me in the background as well, and I know many of you also, entrepreneurship is something that is just a theme in my life. Obviously running a business is a huge part of my life. I know many of you also have a side business, a side hustle, or a full-time business that you run from home as well. I've talked and connected with many of you that do that or that have a dream of doing that. And in this season, I have announced that I'm launching a podcast next week, which I'll be sharing about more here in a second, but I'm super excited about it. But it's a really big, heavy work season, I guess, right now. We go through different seasons when it's heavier on the work side and not, and this is definitely a side that is a little heavier in the work area of my life, and so I'm needing to dedicate more time to that. There's a lot involved in the launch and prepping to make everything prepared and all of that, and when you have all of this combining at the same time, it can be a lot. It can really be a lot. I wanted to talk a little bit about finding your balance in when you are a multi-passionate person who is balancing, homesteading, motherhood, entrepreneurship. It could be a little bit different for you depending on what you have in your life, but I think that it can relate to all of us that are passionate about several different areas, and they can all collide. I have had to let go of some things just to be able to balance it. I have told you guys on this channel many times that we cannot do it all, and I still believe that that is really true. And in this season, when the work area of my life is a little bit more full than it is normally, other areas have kind of had to take a hit. And for me, I don't want my motherhood and the things that I spend with my kids to take the brunt of that hit. I will admit they have watched more screens than I normally allow in this season, so that has happened. But what has taken the brunt of the hit is actually the homesteading. So homesteading is super important to me. This is something I'm super passionate about. Obviously, it's a main focus of my channel. The garden, the animals, all of it. Growing your own food, teaching your kids how to do it. It is a huge passion in my life. And I have had to take a step back. I am behind, guys. I am really behind. I started earlier than I ever have with my original seeds, and then life got crazy, and all of the summer things that I wanted to start, I'm pretty much just now starting most of my summer things. So I'm like several weeks to a month behind what I planned to be, and I'm behind in prepping the garden space that we're expanding. We had some huge expansion goals, so not only our normal homesteading things, but some really big projects that involve a lot of tilling, a lot of prep in order to be able to plant out the garden space, and we have not even started the main large area that we are expanding. I just wanted to share that on here to let you know that nobody does it all. Nobody does. If they say that they do, they're lying to you, because it is not possible to do everything. And I guess I just wanted to share kind of like a peek behind the curtain on that, because as you guys know, homesteading is really important to me, and it is not necessarily my preference to be behind. I had a lot of huge garden goals, and some of them will still happen and some of them won't. It's not my preference to be behind in these things that really are a priority to me, and that I've spent a lot of time planning out and just doing a lot of work beforehand, even just in planning the garden space, designing the new expansion area that we're creating for the garden, all of those things. It was not my preference to get behind in some of these things, and I remember telling Matt multiple times throughout the past few weeks of like, what am I even doing? Like, I know that I'm called to start this podcast. I know that I'm called to all of these areas that I'm in, but because I'm having to put more work in right now on, you know, the podcast, which is a really exciting project. I also have some other things in the background. I'm redoing my course and updating that. I'll share more about that in the future. I basically have 3 large buckets of work that are additional to my normal workload that are going on right now. And that is, you know, that's a lot. And so it has made me really feel like, okay, like, am I completely letting things go? Am I not doing enough as far as homesteading? Like, we know that homesteading is a goal for our family. We really want to save some money on groceries, but also just prioritize doing what we can to get better food into our family's body that we can afford and that we can do. We can't necessarily always afford all of the organic best options at the grocery store as prices are rising and everything else. I'm sure you guys can relate to that. And so growing our own food is a really big priority. And so I had these moments of like, I feel like something is out of whack here, and I realize it's not that it's out of whack, it's just that this is a push season for work and I have to let something go. And so once I sat down and really like thought through that and realized, okay, maybe some of my goals for the homestead are not going to happen exactly the way I thought. I'm going to pause a little bit. I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to stop feeling guilty for being behind and just do what I can right now and keep moving forward instead of being stuck in the guilt and the overwhelm. And so that's what I've been doing. And yes, I'm a little disappointed that I'm behind where I wanted to be. But you know what? We're still going to grow tons of food. As you can see in this video alone, we're going to grow tons of food. We're going to grow lots of flowers because that's what my daughter is super into. And you know what? Our flowers might bloom a little bit later into the summer, and that's okay. It's gonna be okay. Hi friends, okay, I'm interrupting this video really quick because I wanted to let you know that my all-new podcast, Simple Rhythms for Busy Moms, is launching in 4 days, and I am so excited about it. It is all about helping busy moms reset the daily chaos with intentional boundaries and systems to get more done, simple living solutions to slow down, and finding your identity in Christ, not your to-do list. I have been working behind the scenes on this for months, and I cannot believe that we are this close to it actually being live and official. It's literally 4 days left, and I would love for you to listen in, to leave me a review. Reviews really, really help boost up the podcast in the podcast algorithm so that more people can actually see and listen to the show, to help spread the word about it and to just help the show grow in general. So I would love your support. If you are watching this in real time, I would love for you to listen in on launch day. And even if you're listening to this afterwards, you can still listen in. Go listen to the most recent episode, go check it out and see what you think. But if you're listening to this in real time, I need your help because I have just a handful of spots left on my launch team. I set a really big goal for the amount of people that I wanted to have on my launch team to help spread the word and really help launch this podcast to as many moms as possible. And you guys have shown up like with all the love and the support. I've had so many of you join my launch team and you guys have spread the word, and I am so incredibly grateful. And I only have literally a few spots left. So I'm praying that I can fill these few final spots so that we can really hit that goal and really just launch this podcast out to as many people as possible to encourage and help other moms just like you who are wanting to find more peace and productivity in their days as a stay-at-home or work-from-home mom. So if you would be willing to help me out, all you have to do is leave a review on launch day on Apple Podcasts. Super simple to do. I'll send you all the instructions, and then if you want to share on social media and help spread the word to your friends or text an episode to a friend, I would be super grateful for your help there as well. And you get entered to win a $50 Amazon gift card just by being a part of the launch team alone and leaving that review on launch day. So super simple to be a part of, and I would love to have you help and support me in this way. I would be so grateful. So I'll leave the link down below in the description for you to sign up for my launch team, and be sure to mark your calendars for April 9th to go ahead and go find my podcast over on anywhere that podcasts are shown and listen in and tell me what you think about the very first episode. So thank you so much, and we'll get back to the video. Okay, I came in to get some of the plants that are under the lights still, so I figured I would show you our little setup that we have in here. So these are mostly like tomatoes and peppers. Let's see if I can give you a better shot. Tomatoes, peppers, there's some flowers that are started in here, some chamomile, different things like that. That's what's still inside. All of the cold weather things I've had sitting outside, getting hardened off and everything, and they're ready to be planted. So they're outside. So we have this whole shelf here, and then it'll be filled up really soon because I need to up pot all of these, because as you can see there's a lot of them in there. So I need to up pot them and give them their own pot, and then honestly this whole shelf will probably be filled. So we have this in our spare room that we use kind of as like an office, and it's been working really well this year. So we really enjoy it. However, I will say we have used every bit of this space. So next year we'll probably need to get another shelf, because like I said, this looks kind of empty just because I have all the cold weather things outside, and then those will be getting planted, so it clears up some space, but then this will all be full and I have to start some other things still. So we need some more space for next year. I feel like every year we've just been leveling it up and needing more space. Okay, I was going to show you guys, I started lavender for the first time this year, which I've never done before, and it's so cool because it literally already smells like lavender, like so strong. I came in here yesterday and I could smell something, and I picked these up and they just smell so good. So that's really exciting. It's going to be so fun to actually be able to make some different like syrups and stuff like that, and maybe like use it in lavender, like make lavender lemonade. I'm really excited for that. Just a few different things that I think will be really fun to do with this. Okay, so this is our Greenstalk station, basically, where we've had our Greenstalk taken apart like all winter. So I need to clear out some of the leaves that are on top, put some new dirt on the top, and then put them in the space that they're going to be for the year and get them ready to plant, because we have a whole table that we need to plant out. Let me show you real quick. Here is, if you can see, our table full of plants that need to go out. These are mostly like lettuce, broccoli, kale, spinach, all the cool weather crops. Some of them are a really good size. We still have some that have multiples in there, so we'll just plant those out in each little area. But we need to get this table planted out and ready to go. So this is the plants that are ready to go into the Greenstalk station. So we're gonna hopefully at least make a dent in this. My goal is to get all of these planted out today, and then also get all of our onions planted out. Another thing when you're balancing a lot of things is to just take a step back and look at your top priorities. And so that's what we've been doing, you know, the past month or so, when things have been just a little busier than they normally are. Thinking through your family's priorities is super important. For us, we have sat down, we've prayed about this a lot. We know that we're doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing in this season, but I had to sit down and really like think through that and make sure that I was on the right track when I started to feel like I had too much on my plate, and looking at everything and being like, okay, what can I take off my plate and what is most important that I should prioritize? And we know specifically with the work things that I'm doing right now, I feel very called to them. There have been a lot of prayer, a lot of intention, a lot of effort that has gone into this, and I am not taking this lightly. Like, this is something that has been covered from the ground up in prayer, and I know that this is what God is calling me to do in this season. So I knew that that wasn't going anywhere. I had also prayed through if this was the time to do it, you know, a lot of that background work, so I knew that the work aspect was going to stay the same. I knew that my calling as a mom to nurture my kids, and yes, I'm okay with them having a little bit more screen time right now. It's okay. They're not going to die. I don't love it, I'll be honest, but it's okay. Things happen during heavier seasons, and sometimes just putting a little show on can really help with that. So we've done that, so I've made some sacrifices there, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice, obviously, you know, our slow time that we get together, just being intentional with them, memorizing our Bible verses, working on different things that they're learning, spending time reading books together. All of that is still happening. And so that kind of narrowed it down to homesteading. Like, yes, homesteading is a priority to us, and as you can see in this video, it's still a priority because, you know, this video alone, I was spending hours doing homestead tasks. So it's not that it's disappeared completely, but it was on a smaller level the last few weeks than I normally would like it to be in this time of year. Just taking the time to think through those priorities. Sometimes something's got to give. Sometimes you just have too much going on, and even though it is not preferable, something just really has to give. No. Okay, throw it back to us.
Get it, go back to mommy.
Right in the face.
Now my turn.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
Ready,
Ready, Dusty? Ready? Oh. Ready? Okay, we're gonna take a quick detour and go into the garden and show you what we've been working on in here. So Matt is putting up the fence. We have the coop in here. Eventually, well, we need to paint this side white, but it's kind of, you know, we put it together with the things that we had on hand, and the chickens and ducks have been outside actually. Here, let me set you down so I can talk to you. The chickens and ducks have been outside fully. They are all fully feathered and ready to go outside. So they've been doing great being outside, but we had them in the full garden area. And now since it's time to actually get to planting, we're putting the fence up. So I'll flip it around and show you real quick. So we're putting the fence up and closing in this last area over here. And then it'll actually extend around the back so that they can have free reign of that. And then we probably will build some sort of like tunnel system or something. We're not really exactly sure yet, to be able to let them out into this main area, because obviously this is now the chicken and duck area and this whole area is the garden. So all of these are going to have beds in them. The middle part is hopefully going to be a little seating area, and then all along the back is the garden as well. So we'll likely let them out into the main yard some throughout the week and stuff when we're here, but probably not all the time, mostly just because when they were free ranging all the time, there was chicken poop everywhere, and that's kind of gross. When you have kids running around and playing, you don't necessarily just want chicken poop everywhere. So we've talked about doing like some tunnel system like on the edges of the garden so that we can let them out and kind of shuffle them through. If we want them to be our little garden workers and help get bugs and stuff like that, they can be in the garden some and not be in the garden some. So we'll see what we end up working out with that. That's not like an urgent thing right now. We'll just let them in the garden as we want to, when we can monitor them, when we don't have like tiny little seedlings that they can destroy, obviously, and then we'll let them out into the main yard some too. But feels good to get that crossed off the list. So Matt and Camden have been working on that back there while I'm working on getting a lot of plants planted out.
Like right here, you see right here how these ones have flowers on them, and then look. Yep, there's a little tiny one right there. Little tiny one, yeah. Those are gonna be baby pears, and they're gonna be this big. They're gonna be all over the tree. This one's got a whole bunch. Look, this one. Look at this one. There's one here, and one here, and one here, and one here, and one here. All these guys here are gonna be baby pears.
I see them all the way down.
Yeah, look at that one. That bloom.
Let's come all the way down.
It'll turn into something big.
Let's go all the way down. Let's see.
So I don't even know if this video honestly has a lot of purpose. I don't know if it's going to be encouraging in any way or not. I'm praying that it will be, because really this is just kind of, I just felt on my heart to give you kind of a raw look into what it's like to balance it, because I have a lot of different things that are going on, and I'm not gonna lie to you and say that many days I don't sit here and think, okay, wow, this is a lot to handle, and am I crazy for trying to do so many things? Why am I so passionate about so many things? But taking the time to step back and look at what you're doing and figure out, okay, am I able to do all of this right now, or do I need to take a step back for a season even if I don't want to, I think is really helpful. And that eliminates a lot of overwhelm and stress just in that. Just being intentional to think through, look at your priorities, and realize what your capacity is in the season that you're in.
Can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we only get one life? I wanna make it count, honey. Come on now and take my hand. Hey darling, I love it when it's me and you on the road with a couple of tunes in a car for two. Hey darling, you know we're gonna have a really good time, driving in the middle of the night when the stars are bright. Pack our bags and get in that car.
Things took a little longer than I thought they would to get this all set up. Obviously, children running around, like just doing all the things. So I'm probably not gonna get the tomatoes and peppers up potted into their new pots today. That's probably gonna have to wait till tomorrow. Such is life, that's kind of just how it goes. But I'm gonna try my best to get all of those plants planted out into this Greenstalk. I have one level left that I didn't quite have enough dirt for, which I thought I might run into that problem. So I'm gonna go grab a bag or two tomorrow and fill that last level, but I'm gonna try and get all of these, or as much as I can, planted out really quick. This is all the lettuce that I have, and then I still have the spinach, kale, broccoli, all of that over there. Actually, now that I think about it, I'm definitely not gonna get the broccoli planted today. So the broccoli and onions that I wanted to get planted will have to wait, but hopefully we can get these Greenstalks planted out, and then tomorrow I can come out and finish up the things that I wanted to do today. So again, this is a little bit more spontaneous of a video of me just talking through my thoughts. I'd love to know if this is encouraging in any way to you, or if it resonated with you, but I hope that you did get some sort of encouragement from this little like raw peek into my life. And I just want you to know, if you have a lot on your plate currently as well, you are not alone. You're doing a great job, and I'm praying for you, and just the wisdom and discernment to know how to balance all of your roles well, and really keep your top priorities, even if that means sacrificing something that you love to a smaller degree than you would like in this season. If that is something that you resonate with, I think you would love my podcast. So I'll put another little quick shameless plug here that my podcast is launching April 9th, so next Tuesday, if you're watching this in live time, and I would love for you to tune in. We're going to talk actually a lot about the things that I've talked about in this video, and I would love for you to listen and come subscribe. And I don't even know if that's what you call it on Apple Podcasts, because I'm new to it. Yeah, but I'd love for you to come listen, leave a review, and hopefully that will encourage and bless you as well. Thank you so much for spending another video with me, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends. Okay, we got 75% of this Greenstalk planted out. So we got all the lettuce, all the spinach, all the kale, and then I have the broccoli left, some Swiss chard, and I feel like there was one other thing. I think just the broccoli and Swiss chard, and then tomorrow I'll have to do the up potting. So I didn't get as much done as I wanted, but I think it's a pretty good start.
Leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in your hair. We can look back someday, baby, don't you understand that we